Throughout history, the shadows of the unexplained have crept into our lives, leaving behind stories that terrify and mystify in equal measure. Tonight, we unravel 5 chilling tales, each more unsettling than the last. From the hysteria of the Salem witch trials, where paranoia and power tore lives apart, to the unsettling presence of the black-eyed children, whose cold, lifeless eyes seem to peer straight into your soul. Then, we journey into the terrifying and controversial exorcism of Annalise Michel, a tragic battle between faith, medicine, and the forces of darkness. Brace yourself for the Enfield poltergeist, where a quiet family home became the epicenter of one of history's most debated paranormal cases. And finally, the silent twins, June and Jennifer Gibbons, whose eerie connection defied explanation and ended in tragedy. These are more than just stories, they are warnings, mysteries, and reminders of the dark corners of our world. Are you ready to uncover the truth behind the terror? Subscribe now and step into the shadows with us, as we explore history's most chilling mysteries. In the winter of 1692, the small Puritan village of Salem, Massachusetts, became the epicenter of fear, paranoia, and injustice. The Salem witch trials stand as one of the most haunting episodes in American history, a tale of suspicion, betrayal, and unimaginable terror. It began with a spark, young girls exhibiting strange behaviors, writhing in fits, and crying out against unseen forces. They claimed they were victims of witchcraft. The accusations quickly spread, igniting a frenzy of fear. Within weeks, dozens were accused, and the village descended into chaos. The trials were grim and relentless. Spectral evidence, claims of visions and dreams, was used to convict the accused. Friends turned on friends, neighbors betrayed neighbors, and families were torn apart. In the span of just a year, 20 innocent people were executed, and hundreds more accused of consorting with the devil. Despite the horror, the Salem witch trials were fueled by fear, power struggles, and the rigid Puritan belief system. But as the frenzy subsided, a painful realization took hold. The trials were not a fight against evil, but a tragic miscarriage of justice. Centuries later, the Salem witch trials serve as a stark reminder of the dangers of mass hysteria and unchecked power. The terror that gripped Salem teaches us to question, to seek truth, and to stand firm against the tide of fear. In the dead of night, a knock on your door shatters the silence. You peek through the peephole and see children, pale, motionless, and wearing outdated clothes. But as you open the door, a chilling detail stops you cold. Their eyes are pitch black, void of any emotion. The black-eyed children, a phenomenon that has left witnesses shaken to their core. These mysterious beings have been reported for decades, always with the same unsettling details: pale skin, monotone voices, and eyes as dark as the abyss. Encounters often begin innocently, a knock at the door, a plea for help, or a request to use your phone. But witnesses report an overwhelming sense of dread, as if their very presence is a warning. Those who let them in describe feeling drained, sick, or plagued by inexplicable misfortune. They just stood there, staring. When I said no, they didn't leave. They just kept asking, over and over, in the same monotone voice, one witness recalled. Another described, when I finally looked into their eyes, it was like staring into a void. It didn't feel human. But who, or what, are these black-eyed children? Are they extraterrestrial visitors? Malevolent spirits? Or simply an eerie urban legend that has taken on a life of its own? While skeptics dismiss these accounts as hoaxes or misinterpretations, the consistency of the stories, spanning countries and decades, continues to fuel the mystery. So the next time you hear a knock at your door in the middle of the night, think twice before answering. Because some visitors are better left outside. Do you believe in the black-eyed children? Let us know in the comments. Faith, fear, and tragedy collided in one of the most infamous exorcism cases in modern history. In 1976, the quiet village of Klingenberg, Germany, became the epicenter of a chilling battle between good and evil, one that ended in heartbreak and left lingering questions that persist to this day. Annalise Michel was a devout Catholic, a bright and kind young woman with a promising future. But her life took a terrifying turn when she began experiencing seizures, dark visions, and behaviors that defied explanation. Medical diagnoses pointed to epilepsy and mental illness, but Annalise and her family believed something far more sinister was at work. Her symptoms escalated, Annalise claimed she was possessed by multiple demonic entities, including Lucifer himself. Desperate for answers and salvation, her family turned to the church for help. What followed was a grueling series of exorcisms, 67 sessions over 10 harrowing months. The recordings from these sessions reveal horrifying screams, guttural voices, and frantic prayers. The ordeal pushed Annalise to the brink as she endured starvation, exhaustion, and immense psychological and physical suffering. After Annalise's tragic death in 1976, her parents and the two priests who performed the exorcisms faced manslaughter charges. The trial brought the clash between science, religion, and human rights into the spotlight, dividing public opinion worldwide. Was Annalise Michel a victim of severe mental illness, misunderstood by those around her? Or was she truly tormented by forces beyond comprehension? The case raises profound questions about faith, medicine, and the thin line between belief and delusion. Her story remains one of the most haunting and controversial cases of possession ever recorded. Whether a tragic misdiagnosis or a genuine battle with darkness, Annalise Michel's legacy is a sobering reminder of the human capacity for both belief and suffering. Do you believe in demonic possession, or was Annalise's case a misunderstood tragedy? Let us know in the comments. In the late 1970s, a quiet home in Enfield, England, became the center of one of the most infamous paranormal investigations in history. What started as unexplained noises quickly escalated into a terrifying ordeal that would captivate and divide the world. In 1977, the Hodgson family began experiencing strange occurrences in their small, council house. Furniture moved on its own, knocking sounds echoed through the walls, and chilling voices seemed to come from nowhere. Most disturbingly, young Janet Hodgson appeared to be at the center of the chaos. Over the course of 2 years, the activity escalated. Janet was reportedly thrown across rooms, levitated, and spoke in guttural voices claiming to belong to a long-dead man. Skeptics called it a hoax, but investigators, including members of the Society for Psychical Research, witnessed phenomena they could not explain. One of the most chilling aspects of the case was the voice, a deep, gravelly tone that seemed impossible for an 11-year-old girl to produce. Was it evidence of possession, or a clever trick played by a frightened child? The Enfield poltergeist divided opinion. Paranormal investigators were convinced it was genuine, pointing to inexplicable events witnessed firsthand. Meanwhile, skeptics argued that the incidents were exaggerated or fabricated by the children seeking attention. Decades later, the truth behind the Enfield poltergeist remains elusive. Was the Hodgson family haunted by an unseen force, or were they the architects of an elaborate hoax? The case continues to spark debate and inspire stories of the supernatural. Whatever you believe, the Enfield poltergeist remains one of the most chilling and controversial cases of paranormal activity ever documented. Do you think the events in Enfield were real, or just an elaborate hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments. In a world where twins share a bond like no other, June and Jennifer Gibbons took that connection to an extraordinary, and deeply unsettling, level. Their story is one of isolation, creativity, and tragedy, earning them the chilling title of the Silent Twins. Born in 1963 in Wales to Barbadian immigrants, June and Jennifer Gibbons were inseparable from birth. But their bond quickly grew unusual. They spoke only to each other in a secret language, isolating themselves from their family and the outside world. Their silence wasn't just shyness. It was a self-imposed exile. They refused to communicate with anyone else, fueling speculation about their connection and the mysterious language they shared. Though silent to the world, June and Jennifer expressed themselves through writing, creating dark and fantastical stories. Their imaginations thrived, but their relationship grew increasingly volatile, a mix of deep love and dangerous rivalry. Obsessed with each other yet trapped by their bond, the twins' lives took a darker turn. They engaged in petty crimes, arson, and eventually landed in Broadmoor Hospital, a high-security psychiatric facility, where their story took an even more disturbing twist. At Broadmoor, the twins spent 11 years in near-total isolation. But then, in 1993, Jennifer died suddenly at the age of 29. The cause? Acute myocarditis, an inflammation of the heart with no clear explanation. Before her death, the twins had made a chilling pact: one of them must die for the other to live. After Jennifer's death, June began to live a more normal life, speaking freely and stepping into the world they had once shunned. Was her newfound freedom the result of their mysterious pact, or the end of a lifelong struggle to escape their shared isolation? The Silent twins left behind a story of unbreakable bonds, untapped creativity, and unimaginable tragedy. Their saga continues to intrigue psychologists, writers, and anyone fascinated by the mysteries of human connection. Do you believe June and Jennifer's bond was supernatural, or simply a psychological anomaly? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that blur the line between the extraordinary and the tragic.